a thought. What defines a nation's place in the world? Is it military strength? Is it trade? Or is it something far more intangible? Honor, perception, and the choices leaders make in moments of crisis. Because sometimes it's not the battles fought on the ground, but the battles fought in perception that decide a country's future. I'm Vaanya, and tonight we take you across the corridors of diplomacy, from Washington to Tel Aviv, from Beijing to Moscow. 4 stories, 1 message. Each tells us how nations project power, how leaders balance pride with pragmatism, and how alliances shift in a world that refuses to stand still. Here's a question for you. What is more important for a country? Immediate damage control or long-term honor? Tonight, we look at 2 leaders, 2 nations, and 1 lesson. From India, Prime Minister Narendra Modi. From Israel, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Both lead strong democracies, both deal with pressure from Washington, but their responses are very different. Donald Trump in India, he mocked its economy, slammed its tariffs, and even accused Prime Minister Narendra Modi of ignoring Ukraine. 4 phone calls from Trump, Modi declined them all. Why? Because this wasn't about trade, it was about national honor. And India made it clear, we will not be treated as inferior. Now cut to Israel. August 25th, Khan Yunis. An Israel shell hits a hospital. 20 killed, including journalists. Within hours, Israel apologizes, promises investigations, calls it a tragedy. Later facts showed many victims were Hamas members, but the damage was done. Israel looked anxious, guilty. Here's the lesson. National honor is not a luxury, it's a strategic asset. India understood this, Israel perhaps did not. In diplomacy, perception is power, and when a nation appears anxious or guilty, the world sees vulnerability. Adversaries exploit it, friends begin to doubt. So what should Israel learn from India? That sometimes restraint is strength, that delaying an apology is not arrogance, it is strategy. National honor must be defended, but for survival. Because in global politics, if you don't guard your honor, someone else will rewrite it for you. India and the United States, friends, partners, allies, at least on paper. But if you've been listening to Donald Trump lately, you'd wonder what exactly is this partnership built on. Trump fired off a tweet, and I quote, "Looks like we've lost India and Russia to deepest, darker China. May they have a long and prosperous future together." Sarcasm, mockery, dismissal, all packed into one. He is ridiculing 25 years of India-US relations, and more importantly, he's saying he doesn't care what happens to them. And then came Howard Lutnick, US Secretary of Commerce, with something even more bizarre. He said,
"Stop buying Russian oil, right? And stop being a part of BRICS. Either support the dollar, support the United States of America, or I guess you're going to pay a 50% tariff. And let's see how long this lasts. In a month or 2 months, I think India is going to be at the table, and they're going to say they're sorry, and they're going to try to make a deal with Donald Trump, and it will be on Donald Trump's desk how he wants to deal with Modi. And we leave that to him. That's why he's the president."
This is not foreign policy. This is arrogance dressed up as diplomacy, a diktat to the world's 5th largest economy. And here's the reality check. India is not a taker here. We sell more to America than we buy. And when we say goods, it's not just products. It's Indian skills, Indian technology, Indian students paying billions into US universities. The overall exchange tilts in Washington's favor, and yet they want India to bend. What they don't realize is that this indirectly benefits Russia. Think about it. Russia gains a massive geopolitical advantage. Trump's 4 years in office could end up cementing India and Russia ties for decades. And while he rants about Moscow, he does nothing. So after all the drama, Trump backpedaled. At a press conference, he said,
"I always will. I'll always be friends with Modi. He's great. Prime Minister, he's great. I'll always be friends, but I just don't like what he's doing at this particular moment. But India and the United States have a special relationship. There's nothing to worry about."
As if it was just another lover's tiff. And Prime Minister Modi, he stayed calm, patient, measured, responsible. The question is, will Trump see it as maturity or mistake it for weakness? that answer will shape the next chapter of India-US ties. India and China, two neighbors, two rivals, and now two leaders talking friendship in a chaotic world. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has made his first visit to China in the past 7 years. The venue, Tianjin. The occasion, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit. And while Trump's tariffs are shaking global trade, American media says India is drifting closer to America's so-called rivals, China and Russia. Add to that, India today is Ukraine's biggest diesel supplier. The global chessboard is shifting. At the heart of it, Modi and Xi. Their meeting went 20 minutes over time. Now in diplomacy, schedules are tight. So when talks spill over, it means new important things are being discussed. Xi Jinping said it's vital to be friends. Modi on his part sent 5 clear signals. Border stability, honoring past agreements, the value of cooperation, determination to strengthen ties, and respect for China's SCO chairmanship. Put together, these statements tell us something big. The interest of 2.8 billion people, India and China combined, are linked. A new mechanism for border stability is now being explored. And notice this, China for the first time pursued a unified image for Russia, India and China. Remember June? During the SCO defense ministers meet, India refused to sign the joint statement because Pahalgam was missing. This time, the SCO condemned Pahalgam, a significant shift. So let's be clear, Modi and Xi are not turning into best friends, they are negotiating. They are managing rivalry, but in a world of tariffs, wars and shifting alliances, India and China are choosing dialogues. And when that dialogue goes over time, it tells you both sides are trying harder than before. Sometimes, diplomacy is not about the red carpet, the banquet halls or the photo ops. Sometimes, it happens in the backseat of a car. And that's exactly what Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Russian President Vladimir Putin did in Tianjin, China. At a time when Donald Trump is slapping punitive tariffs on India over Russian oil, when the West is trying to box Moscow into a corner, Modi and Putin decided to send a very different message. A car ride, personal, symbolic, but also strategic. Why a car? Because cars, especially Putin's armored limousines, are swept clean of bugs. Safer than hotel rooms, safer than conference halls, and certainly safer than China's venues where surveillance is a given. This was about maximum privacy. 2 leaders, no aides, no translators whispering in between. What could they be talking about? Defense, nuclear cooperation, Ukraine, or perhaps China itself. Whatever it was not for Chinese ears. And what else does this show? Trust. Modi and Putin continued talking for 45 minutes even after reaching the hotel. Clearly, the conversation was too important to cut short, too sensitive to share with anyone else. This was a signal to the world. Russia and India are partners who speak directly, candidly, and confidentially. And it doesn't end here. The symbolism was loud and clear. To the West, despite sanctions, Russia-Indian ties are alive and strong. To China, Russia values its partnership with India, not just Beijing. And to the world, India is not just another SCO member, it's a country Moscow treats differently. Publicly too, the warmth was evident. Putin called Modi Mahamahim Pradhan Mantri Ji and Priya Dost, an honorable Prime Minister, a dear friend. Modi responded in kind, speaking of trust, of cooperation, of standing shoulder to shoulder in the toughest times. Both leaders highlighted Ukraine, calling for peace and stability. Both underlined the global role their partnership plays. So here is the takeaway. A car ride may look a casual detour, but in diplomacy, nothing is casual. Every move is calculated, and in this case, it was a message written not in the words, but in wheels. India and Russia driving side by side even as the world watches with suspicion. So here's where we end tonight. 4 stories, 4 signals, but 1 lesson. Global politics is not just power or policy, it's about perception. Where Trump mocks, India holds its ground. When China postures, India negotiates. When Israel apologizes, it weakens. When Russia reaches out, India answers in confidence. In every move, you see a pattern. India's diplomacy is not about noise, it's about nuance. Not about bending, but about balancing. And that's what makes the difference between being a participant in global affairs and being a power that others must reckon with. This is Vaanya, and until next time, remember, in geopolitics, nothing is casual and everything is calculated. You are watching the Worldview through Bharat's lens, only on YMCA Sanchar.